Tracy with Rossmönster Rentals, and today I'm going to give you a tour of one of our Sprinter rental vans. So this is a Sprinter 4x4 with a 144 wheelbase. What that 4x4 means is that it's automatically going to come with a lift, so you have some pretty nice ground clearance, but it is a pretty big step up to get in the vehicle. Let's take a tour of the exterior and then we'll head inside. So one very important thing to know about these Sprinters is that they are diesel only. Did you hear that? Diesel only. This is super important. If you put the wrong type of gas in these vehicles, it could seriously damage the engine, and that would not be fun to pay for. So fill her up with diesel. There is a feature in the nav system of these vehicles that tells you which gas stations near you have diesel, so that's a great function that I use a lot. Right next to that, we have our shore power hookup. So this is if you're at a buddy's house or at an RV lot, you're just gonna hook up with your dongle, which lives in the driver's door. It just is an adapter, and then you have an extension cord to fully plug in, and you'll just have to remember to switch the switch inside to charge, and you'll charge up your vehicle that way if you want to. Moving back a little bit further, we have our water hookup. So there is a key on your keychain that lets you open this up. We always send you out with a full water tank. You have a 20-gallon tank in this vehicle, but if you're going out for a long journey, you may need to refill it. There is usually a water hose at a lot of gas stations you can go to that you can just stick right in here. If not, we have a funnel in there, so recruit a friend, have them hold a big jug of water, and you can funnel in to fill up, whatever works for you. In the rear of these vans, we have a super sweet backup cam. So anybody who is wary of driving a larger vehicle need not worry. These are super easy to drive and will help you back out of any parking spot very easily. So stepping around the side of the vehicle, super nice. Both of these captain's chairs can completely swivel around so that you can have a nice chat with 4 people in that main area. So there is a lever down here. You're just going to push that towards you and then go ahead and swivel the seats, just like that. Nothing else that you really need to know about driving these. They're super easy modern vehicles. Just know that your controls to change the seat settings are in the door. In the bench seat of the vehicle, you'll find a bunch of safety equipment like a cone to put out if you need to change a tire, a fire extinguisher, all of that good stuff. But the jack and everything you need to change a tire is actually going to live right here under the passenger seat. Again, your spare tire is in the rear of the vehicle. We store a user's manual for the Mercedes up in these cubbies above each driver's seat. Flip open your manual, change the tire that way, or utilize your roadside assistance or AAA. They'll do it for you. All right, welcome inside. So these rental vans are totally decked out with everything you need for adventure. If you want to check out the furnishings that you can find inside the van, check out our website. There's an entire page on it. As far as the build out goes, we have our galley area dinette on the side here. We have our bench seat that turns into the second full-size bed, and then we have our raised bed in the rear. So this is also a full size. All birch slab door cabinetry throughout, so you have some really nice uppers that will fill with furnishings for you. All of these have our V latches on them, so just make sure that when you close them, you hear that click. That lets you know that it's completely closed. Again, you have some storage under the sink. Just know that your sink drains directly to the exterior of the van, so if you're ever somewhere like a national park where you don't want to dump directly out, there is a plug in the sink, so you can plug it up and then drain it once you get to a better spot for that. All right, so when you're ready to go to bed, if you have 4 people renting this vehicle, all you're gonna do is pull the back of this bench seat towards you, open it up so that you see these 2 black receptors, and then you grab your table legs, which we will typically store in either this little cubby or under the bench seat. There's a silver knob on here that you need to make sure is pulled out all the way. You place that silver knob right into the hole on the receptor and turn it clockwise. If it's not catching, it just means you're going to need to turn your silver knob counterclockwise to get it to come out a little bit further and give you some more real estate to work with. Once you have the table legs screwed on, you're just going to pull it towards you, pull the cushion this way, and lay it down flat. In some of the vehicles, you do need to pull slightly towards the sliding door as you pull it out, just because these things are crammed. We're fitting a lot into a small space. All right, so now that we have our bed folded down, we have a full-size bed in the bottom and a full-size bed up top. One really nice thing about both sleeping areas is that we have these windows on either side that just open by turning this lovely knob. And so that gives some really great cross ventilation to just keep the entire cab nice and cool. You also have your max air fan above. So for this guy, you just press the on button to turn it on, and then you can change using these arrows to make it either suck air out of the vehicle or pull air in. So when I'm cooking, I always like to suck air out, and then just to get some airflow in here, I always turn it to the in position. You can keep it open when you're driving, but just know that it may be a little bit loud. So let's fold up this bed. So you're just going to do the exact opposite of how you pulled it out. Make sure you get a nice fold to it so it'll stay there. Turn these table legs counterclockwise. Stow them away somewhere safe, wherever that may be for you. We like to put them in either the bench seat or in this little cubby here, and then just press the entire rest of the seat back down. All right, so once you get to camp, if you want to set up your table so that you can enjoy meals inside and outside, you'll grab the Lagoon mount table leg. It's always easier to do this in two parts rather than doing it with the table on top, because it's quite heavy once you have the table on there. So you're just going to look at the grooves on the table leg, match them to the grooves on the bench seat, slide her in, and then this lever acts as a winch. So righty-tighty, to disengage it, you're going to pull the handle towards you and just keep on tightening it until it's good and tight. Then grab the tabletop. There's a nice little hole there that you're going to slip right over that hole. And then again with the lever, just tighten it down, pull towards you to disengage, and there you have it, a nice Lagoon mount table to work on, enjoy a meal, whatever you want to do. Moving over to this side of the van, I'll take you through some of the electric systems that we have inside here. So the silver knobs on the left here control your upper dimmable LED dome lights. The next switch over controls your over cab lights, which are also dimmable. We have our light switch. This one just lights up the entire panel so that you can see it at night. We have our under cabinet lights. So those allow you to have some nice lighting when you're prepping dinner or something. We have our toe kick lights, so those are going to illuminate the floor below. We have our fridge. Anytime that you want the fridge to be on, make sure that this is on. You can keep it on basically all the time. Your solar, which is a 200-watt array up top, should offset your fridge use. And then we have our water pump. So anytime you want to use either your sink or the exterior shower, just make sure you have the water pump in the on position. Cool? Now let's go through the more confusing parts. Anytime that you want to use your electric outlets or the induction burner, because essentially the induction burner is just plugged into an outlet, you need to turn this switch to inverter. So that is going to bring power to your outlets and your induction burner. If either of those are not working, this is probably your first stop in troubleshooting. When you're driving, you're going to keep that in the off position, and then anytime that you hook up to shore power and want to charge your vehicle that way, you'll just press that down into the charger position, and that'll make sure that your shore power is actually charging your house batteries. Over here, this big red button is your ACR. So this allows you to charge your house batteries using your vehicle itself. So at all times, you're going to keep this button in the off position. If you look at your energy monitor and you see that your percentage is dropping below 50, you're going to want to switch this to the auto position, which is straight up and down, and then run the car for a little while. Anytime that you put this switch in the auto position, set a timer for yourself for 4 hours. If you let the vehicle drive and charge your house batteries for more than 4 hours, there's a high likelihood that you could overcharge your batteries, which would be quite dangerous and a costly fix. So just keep an eye on this Victron energy monitor. As soon as it hits 100, just turn that thing back into off. So be wary of it. It's not something you want to get wrong. Lastly, if for some reason your vehicle dies and you need to jump the car, you can just turn this ACR switch into the on position, which is all the way up. That will jump your car battery using the house battery, and as soon as you're running again, just switch it back to off and you should be good to go. So each of these vans is kitted out with a single burner induction stove, and I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough of how to work this guy. So as I said before, you always need to have your inverter in the on position in order to use your induction burner. There, you just heard it kick on. You're going to hit the power button, and then you can either use the heat setting or the temp setting. If you're using the heat setting, you have 1 through 10 as your settings. If you're using temperature, it's going to look at the exact temperature that the plate is getting to. We recommend using heat because it's just a little bit more simple. This thing is going to start at 5. We recommend keeping it there for a little while. They draw a lot of power right when they're kicking off. So leave it at 5. Crank it up to 8 if you're really cooking a lot of stuff, but really most things should be able to boil and cook at around anywhere between 5 and 8. And just know that these guys only work with ferromagnetic cookware. Everything that we give you will be ferromagnetic, but if for some reason you brought your own, just make sure that it is ferromagnetic, otherwise this won't work. Lastly, if ever your induction burner or your outlets are not working, but you do in fact have this switch in the inverter position, then you might need to reset your GFCI, which is in the electric cabinet of the van. We'll show you that shortly. So each van comes with a 4.6 cubic foot isotherm fridge. We will always try to pre-cool this before you head out. And there's also a little freezer up top here. So you can have ice cream while camping, which is quite the luxury. Lastly, let's take it back to the back. You have your raised bed up here. Each van has reading lights above the bed. Some of them are a push button, so you'll push on the face of the light. These ones, however, you click where it is blue, that'll turn the light on. Another great feature about these reading lights is that there is a USB charger underneath, so you can charge your phone while you're sleeping. Let's head to the garage and finish this tour. All right, welcome to the rear of the van. Some things to know back here. Your spare tire is hidden under the vehicle here. In order to find the jack and everything, it's by the passenger seat. Also, just take a look at the Mercedes manual to change the tire, or utilize your roadside assistance or AAA. We'll do it for you. On the driver's side of the vehicle here, we have our shower hookup. So this guy, we always store the quick connect shower head in the water cabinet. All you do is line the 2 notches on here up with the 2 notches in the receiver and turn clockwise. These guys will not have hot water in them until winter, so cold showers only. Back here you will also find your funnel if you need to fill your water tank via funnel rather than hose, depending on where you end up. And you also have your 20-gallon water tank back here. So always look at your water tank to monitor where you're at, and please don't overfill them because water in a wood cabinet is not a good thing to have. Stepping over to the passenger side, we have our electrical cabinet. So the hope is that you don't have to do anything in here, but everything will be labeled for you. We have your inverter here. You have your solar on the right here, batteries there. If you ever find that your electric outlets or your induction burner are not working, and you do in fact have the switch turned to the inverter position, you're gonna find your GFCI, which is this black box with yellow tubes coming out both sides, and you're just gonna hit the reset button. That should give you a reset and get you back up and running. Additionally, back here you just have a ton of storage, so feel free to bring along all of the gear for all the fun things you're gonna go do on your adventure. That wraps up this van tour. Be sure to follow us on YouTube so you never miss a next tour, and have a great day.